Finland currently has 23 operating roller coasters. While that may not be as many coasters as a lot of other countries in Europe, Finland has a very unique collection of coasters. This past summer, I visited their three major parks in Linnanmaki, Sarkanniemi, and PowerLand. Those three parks contain all but three of the country's roller coasters, and the coasters I did miss wouldn't have made this list based off identical clones I have ridden elsewhere. So in this video, I will rank my top 15 favorite roller coasters in Finland. Number 15, Linnunrata Extra at Linnanmaki. This Sear family coaster is built inside a former water tower in the center of the park. But you wouldn't know it was a water tower once you're inside. The coaster is themed to outer space, and it includes a well-themed queue line and some blacklit effects during the ride. The coaster itself is fairly slow, but it feels considerably faster thanks to the dark environment. And if you ride in the back car, the drops after each lift hill offer some decent whip. Number 14, Neo's Twister at PowerLand. This Fabry spinner thankfully will not beat you up like some of the company's other coasters, so this becomes a fairly enjoyable ride. The hairpin turns offer some decent laterals. While the drops at the end are not particularly steep or thrilling, you do at least spin for most of the layout, unlike the more common Zamperla or Reverchon spinning coasters. Number 13, Cobra PowerLand. This Vekoma boomerang is one of the better ones out there. It's one of the newer ones as it was built in 2005, and it also features Vekoma's newer generation MK1211 trains. These trains do still feature over-the-shoulder restraints, but the superior track work eliminated all headbanging. That allowed me to appreciate the solid initial plunge and forceful inversions, going both forwards and backwards. The other cool thing about this boomerang is that the station fills with smoke when you pass through it. This makes the already disorienting ride experience even more dizzying. Number 12, Trombi at Sarkanniemi. I know I'm in the minority here, but I don't hate Zamperla Volares. The tight turns can be jerky, but the restraints don't cause me any headbanging, so I don't find it an issue. That allows me to appreciate the good G's on the turns and scary hang time on the inline twists. Number 11, Vuoristorata at Linnanmaki. This classic scenic railway coaster is one of the few coasters that still has a brakeman on board. The only previous one I had ridden like this was Rushbanan at Tivoli Gardens, and that was an airtime machine. But unfortunately, the one at Linnanmaki was run much more conservatively. It was braked so harshly that the operator actually had to push the train with his feet at times on the turns to make it around them. The lack of speed resulted in very little airtime. However, I could still appreciate this ride's rich history and how smooth it was given its age. And the other thing to note is, again, it is operator dependent, so it may be possible to get faster rides on other days. Number 10, MotoGee at Sarkanniemi. This Zamperla Moto coaster has a shockingly strong launch for a coaster of this size. The super compact layout has a few moderately forceful turns, and the profiling of those turns sometimes causes itty-bitty pops of airtime. The sense of speed is also accentuated by the engine revving sounds and riding position. Number 9, Salama at Linnanmaki. This custom Mauer spinning coaster has a unique placement above the park's Herjakuru River Rapids ride. This one has very little braking and it holds its speed well. The initial drop and horseshoe turn is fun, but the rest of the ride is a helically winding layout that doesn't produce as much spinning as I would have expected, even with an off-balanced car. Number 8, Ukko at Linnanmaki. This is a rare Mauer Skyloop and it offers some of the best hang time of any coaster. The way the lift hill transitions from a vertical lift to an upside down lift is freaky, and you get several seconds of hang time from both that lift hill and subsequent barrel roll. The stalls until the brake catches you at the end offer a mix of hang time and weightlessness, and the pullouts through the station offer some strong positive G's. The one downside with this coaster is the final brake. Brace yourself because the lap bar can really dig into your stomach here. While I do not have a review on this coaster, I do have a more in-depth review of an identical clone and X coaster at Magic Springs if you want to hear more. Number 7, Kirnu at Linnanmaki. The prototype Intamin Zack Spin is a fun coaster, unlike Six Flags Magic Mountain's former Green Lantern First Flight. Kirnu actually allows the vehicles to spin freely, so the forces feel more natural. The flipping is considerably more intense than the S&S free spins because the axis of rotation is not around the rider's center of mass. This can cause a little discomfort as you're thrown into the lap bar, but I do love how intense the ride is. The first Raven turn produces a free-falling sensation similar to a drop tower, and the final element is just insane. You get a pop of airtime and a flip simultaneously. I just wish this ride was longer, as is roughly 10 seconds of prime ride time. Number 6. Thunderbird at PowerLand. This was GCI's first coaster in Europe, and it is Finland's best wooden coaster. This is the ride that was cloned for Six Flags St. Louis's American Thunder. The double out and back layout is filled with bunny hills, but the ride does fizzle out in the second half as it offers very little airtime there. Fortunately, the first half does have a few decent airtime moments, and the ride is very smooth. Number 5. Pitts Special at PowerLand. This Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster offers a confusing ride experience. The first drop and subsequent pullout are great. You go from some decent ejector airtime to crushing positive Gs in an instant. And there's also a speed hill in the first half that delivers some great ejector airtime. However, this coaster has some of the worst pacing on the planet. Almost every element seems to be too tall or too stretched out, so it feels like you're going to valley in most elements, so you barely get any additional forces beyond the ones I mentioned. I go into more detail in a separate review. Number 4. Hype at Sarkanniemi. This is one of the best Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 clones out there for 2 reasons. 1. This version has just lap bars. 2. This one offers amazing views of Sarkanniemi, the water, and downtown Tampere. And those visuals are paired with the usually forceful ride. The launches are just okay, but the ascent and descent from the tower deliver powerful ejector airtime, and that super slow barrel roll induces some great hang time. Number 3. Tornado at Sarkanniemi. This is one of the rare Intamin full circuit inverted coasters, and it really is a shame there aren't more of them. It is a ton of fun. Tornado has 5 great inversions. The vertical loop and Cobra roll deliver the positive Gs, while the final 2 Heartline rolls deliver oodles of hang time. The first Heartline roll in particular is incredible, as it occurs underground above the load platform. Between the concrete walls on all sides and minimal clearances, this element will mess with your mind. This ride is also smooth, and it has a neat setting running alongside the wooded midway and also going underground at points. I go into more detail in a separate review. Number 2. Junker at PowerLand. This Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster is a fantastic ride. The initial launch is one of the most powerful ones out there. This LSM launch packs a wallop and it will pin you to your seat. Then the layout includes several hills delivering great ejector airtime, most notably on the top hat. And you also have 3 inversions featuring near misses and copious amounts of hang time. And as a bonus, you are usually getting extreme laterals on any of those airtime hills and inversions at the same time. Combine that with many compact valleys that pile on the positive Gs, and you have one of the most underrated launch coasters in the world. And coming in at number 1 is Taiga Linnanmaki. This Intamin LSM launch coaster is incredible. This is one of the best paced coasters in the world. The ride has strong elements, and the transitions in between them are quick, forceful, and seamless. And the ride's placement on the hill is brilliant too. It not only offers amazing views of Helsinki, but you also get sudden speed bursts as you drop down the hillside. The coaster contains some great airtime moments, particularly on the giant top hat and speed hills. But the highlights for me were the inversions. 3 of them, the 0G winder, the supersized 0G stall, and the final barrel roll, are loaded with hang time and some of my favorite inversions on any coaster. And those forces are even better because you have just lap bars. I have a separate review that goes into more detail, but Taiga really is one of Intamin's best coasters. So those are my top 15 favorite roller coasters in all of Finland. The top 2 are great launch coasters that any coaster enthusiast should have on their bucket list, and the rest of the country's offerings consist of some fairly rare coaster models. What is your favorite coaster in Finland? Or what are the coasters you're most looking forward to? I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these rides down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.